question for each. Takes only 24 hours.
As you said, there is so many things to say with body that I just got overwhelmed. So I was like, just cancel body. And my comic, that is the first one when you open the book, is about not wanting to be perceived by your body. Like we are always judged by how we look, not only gender, but are you fat? Are you skinny? Are you beautiful? Are you sick? Are you... I mean, it's a pressure to feed the body. It's a pressure to stay healthy. And I know that everyone there has faced some issues with body. And I would like me to be perceived as just the little warm star. Like some people could call it a soul, but yes, a sparkle. And so to me, body was just about cancelling it. Like, please just see me as I really am. And maybe if you couldn't perceive me, either with your eyes, either with your hands, you may be interested in who I really am. By the way, I told with my girlfriend about the comic. And she told me, I'm really sorry that you feel that way, because to me being like feeling sexy, feeling in my body is empowering, you know. And I thought that what I was feeling was universal, you know, and that everyone could relate. And I received a lot of messages that were like, thank you for putting images and words on what I felt. But some people are really happy in their body. And I wish that a lot of you are really happy in their body too.
That's pretty much the whole gist of my comic. It's really short.
As always.
I have kids, I have no time to draw you. That's usually my last couple of issues, my comics are like 1 page.
I like
For
it.
a reason.
You should publish it sometime.
Oh.
This theme makes people be very personal. So it's very interesting to see all the different point of views, and it feels very, very real to you also. It may be a bit partial, but I really loved Anna Maria's comic. I liked it felt like it's in my head. So yes, it goes a lot with the experience, with your own experience and what you see. So yes, this is my answer.
Thank you. Could we mention the name of
AKC College.
Usually the script writers get a less of publicity as the authors, but it should be mentioned.
I know, that's why I wrote his name there, but I'm not that good in making scenarios. That's why I think I need to have a person that writes for me.
Yeah, that's also a legitimate approach, but your artwork is very nice. So if you have found a way to present it in collaboration, don't feel stressed about it. And in Croatia we have a saying. It's a bit in German. Zucker kommt zuletzt. The sugar comes at last. This is Noah Nježić, and he will now elaborate his approach to the theme.
So my comic's name is Just Have To, or in Croatian Još Samo. On the theme of body, I really like the theme body, and so for my comic I wanted to shortly show the progression of a person slowly breaking down their body, but for a good cause, because we all really want to express ourselves and become better in something, especially when it comes to our bodies. We always need to work out more, we want to look better, but it always seems like there's
Be taller.
Yes, especially that. But there's no point of the end where we're kind of satisfied with it, so especially with our bodies. But it's not like that only in the theme of body and workouts, it's like that in every space, in every function in life. If we're artists, we always want to draw more. If we're singers, we want to sing more. And sometimes we set ourselves some goals which we want to achieve, but even when we get to those goals, we aren't really satisfied. And the point of the comic actually is the person working out to the point in which their body is broken. And they're satisfied, but they could always just have to Još Samo do something else.
Some of the paragraphs describing a majority of the Art Academy in Osijek. During my master's degree in illustration, developing quite a number of, I would call it a few.
Comes to them as quite a surprise when they hear that he's also a professor at the academy. But also there is an interesting.
Amongst other things.
In your style, there is some smarts and stuff like that. They have some.
Characters in the 90s and 2000s, like Mr. Meow, like Loss, we were in the studio together, and I met Lukas some years before, for some years
Goran Pavlov, enthusiasts.
As it is a crime, sort of, it's, how do I say this? Basically, like the story itself, when we went through it, the book and I, it's a 5.5-page short tale. Essentially, it's mostly dialogue between the main two characters, the librarians themselves, which also includes a couple of side characters as well as the burglars themselves. Funny thing is, all of the characters in the story, which happens to be a recurring sort of running gag in most of Zoran's other stories, as they're sort of like stage plays with self-inserts, where him and those colleagues of his are the characters themselves. He in fact is one of the burglars here in the story.
Comic book author from Croatia. He did actually the intro of where he described how you met, how
annoying person.
we all know that you are annoying, but we
No, was fun.
forgive
That's
you.
true. That's true.
You draw nuts.
Yeah, I asked
Interesting.
him. I mean, I stole the title from his, from his first anthology of his early works. This is just a book for text purposes, urban, and I didn't want to break it too much, so it was the same concept, like a bunch of older comics. He had the same book with the same title, with the same publisher, and his foreword and like intro illustration was done by Silevic. So for me it was logical, he did yours. Now that I stole your title, you can also do the same thing as did for me. And it's even the foreword is written in the same spirit. I think Essen is like trying to be nice, but barely succeeding in the foreword. And
There is some resemblance between his forward and Dubravko Matekovic's forward in Stjepan's comic.
But I mean, at this
They're
point,
trying to be nice.
but I know Dalibor for like now a really long time, and our love language is definitely to insult the shit out of each other. So I wouldn't have accepted anything less.
Okay.
Absolutely. I think it's a great exercise.
On topic of which you also led several workshops. You exhibited your work on many group exhibitions and published short comics in Croatian magazines. Is there anything you want to add to this?
No, that's all.
Okay. Vasya Ivkovic is also freshly out of the same college, right? Of the graphics module at the Academy of Fine Arts in Zagreb. You blend photography, publishing, and performativity in your work, and you use irony and everyday observances to construct alternative narratives in different mediums. You work in mediums of artist books, site-specific installations, and participatory formats. Is there anything you would like to add?
No.
Okay. Well, I just have one question for each of you, then we can move on to the zine, right? Vasya. In your bio, it said that your work is based on rhizome research methodologies. To be honest, that is the first time that I came across this phrase, and I would very much like to know what exactly it is and how do you work with it.
Okay, so a few years ago, I stumbled upon this article about a new model of thinking, and it's called rhizomatic thinking, which was developed by two French philosophers, Deleuze and Guattari. I don't know how to pronounce
Good
it.
enough.
For this. And they were trying to develop this model of thinking where all of the ideas and concepts are in a mesh, which is kind of looks like a rhizome, which is a structure of root system of plants. So this was their inspiration why it is called rhizomatic thinking, because also like in the root system of plants everything is connected, and you can take one dot from it and it will be connected and it can communicate with a dot that is like miles and miles away. So this was their way of trying to think about ideas and philosophical concepts and yeah, just a new model of thinking, which is opposed to the usual hierarchy structure of thinking, where you have like one point, one base, and then you develop the idea like a tree, you know. So this was like kind of the opposite, because you're looking at the root system.
So more like parallel connections, mental map, something like that.
Yes, yes. And when I think about ideas and when I start working on something, this is my model of thinking. Oh, I tried to incorporate it, but...
Okay, yeah, so you kind of try to build it at all times.
Yes.
Okay, interesting, thank you. Maya Peter. You realize your works through the mediums of drawings and traditional graphics. Does that mean you also use traditional graphic techniques in creating comics as well sometimes?
Well, for this Ohoho zine number 7, I realized my comic in monotype, and then I done it digitally. But we have here a lithography, but there are no comics inside.
Comics was nominated for the Alternative Comics Award at the Angoulême Festival. Is there something you would like to add to this part?
Yeah, Ohoho Comics was nominated too.
So they're like colleagues? Yeah. Okay, excellent, good to know. And multiple times as well, right? Yeah.
Ohoho zine authors are the last person.
Yes. It's a collaboration, right? Yes.
You know about it?
Yeah, I know. I'm in it. Loa is a visual artist and graphic designer. She is the author of the fabulous Mutation series at Poisson.
We don't have it.
Oh, you don't have it? And
Lost in the flight.
Lost during the flight.
Lost?
Lost in Paris somewhere.
Completely lost. You don't know where it is?
All the prints are lost.
What? So like in the airport or?
Yeah.
Oh no.
We don't have information.
Sue them. But you do have the candidates, right?
Yeah.
Candidates, these are the
Yeah.
okay.
The books are.
Yes. You're also the creator and coordinator of the magazine Freak Show Comics, which we are talking about today. Do you want to add anything more about yourself? Can you just talk a bit closer to the mic? I think.
Sorry.
Yes. Really close. It needs to be really close.
You can introduce like stand-up comedy.
Exactly like that. Yeah.
I don't have much words. So, we started with Atelier Turut, was created by Pierre in 2004, and then when I knew about it, I wanted to turn it to a small press, to publish some books, and we started with a pocket collection called it's the small artist books there, and after we heard about a festival, a rock festival called the Freak Show Festival near the place we live, and we thought it would be great to launch the zine.
In fact, we were part of the crowd.
Yes.
You were fans?
Yeah, it's a rock festival and we loved it. So we thought it was interesting to
launch some scene in parallel from the festival. And sorry.
Can we focus a bit first on your work, sir, and then a bit on your work, and then on both of you? Okay? So, Zoe, your work focuses strongly on personal topics, such as interpersonal relationships, such as in the comic Monster in the Parents' House, emotional burnout, like the comic Blooming, and experiences struggling with borderline personality disorder, like in the comic Might Be Even Good. What is your experience of working on stories with such visceral, personal subjects? I know.
It's a good question. I was like thinking that you guys would ask this and what would I answer, and I didn't, and I don't have a clear answer. It's just in like the last 5 years I had to like get into mental health and a mental health journey, and it came naturally because I'm an artist, and as I came to these revelations that no one like tells you, it's just you have to reveal these things for yourself and like get to know about yourself, and like it for me it's just important for me also to write down and draw about these things, and for other people to, it's hard to open up and it feels vulnerable, and like, but I think every each and every story has a universal like meaning, and everyone can take something away, whether it's like your if you have a relative or a friend who like suffers with it, or you suffer with it, it's like really important. And one thing was like, for example, with my parents, I just can't talk about these things, but if I do a comic and they read it, it's like a conversation starter, or with like anyone else, or yes, so yeah, we have to have the hard conversations, but maybe it's a bit easier first they like see it for themselves and choose on it, and then so I think the purpose is to like to help myself to get it out, and then I hope it helps some other people to like yeah, get the conversation going.
Instagram page tells me that there's all sorts of innovative and creative ways you use comics in different mediums, such as a pop-up and tunnel books, painting on paper plates, creating collaborative chimeras, and so on. Are these ideas something that spontaneously happens in the creative environment of the club, or is it an intentional decision to keep the activities lighthearted and fun?
I would say that it's a bit of both. When I started the club last year in 2024.
Yeah, last year, yes.
5 minutes ago. I really wanted it to become a success. I wanted it for people to come free willingly, and indeed they do. And I think a big part of that is because of this format, where it's like a playground for adults. I feel like there aren't many opportunities to just play as an adult, and like combining drawing and these creative challenges is really a good opportunity to just let your hair loose. But then as the club continue to carry on, and this is we're approaching our 3rd year now.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Like people come with their own ideas, they have their own interests, and it's very much inspiring the way we do things at the club. Like for example, everything that has a hint of pop-up book in it, like where you use scissors and like the tunnel book that you mentioned, that is very much Maria Sorducan, who is very much into pop-up books, and her big project for the past 5 years has been a series of pop-up experiments. So that's something that she's bringing. And for me, like I bring like storytelling challenges, and all the other comics club artists, they also have their own ideas, and we just mix them up, and every Friday, like we have fun.
Kratkih stripova nastalih od 1997. do pred 3 mjeseca. I to prva 4, podijeljene su 6 cijelina, a prvih 4 su bile izlazili kao sami izdaci, a ostali nisu, pa evo sad su svi na hrpi, to je to.
Može se reći da je to zapravo strip album na tragu nekog monografskog pristupa?
ne znam. Rađen je po uzoru na osamotne okolnosti, što se tiče dizajna i načina na koji su posložene te cjeline, jer ima jako lijep fancy pauz papir između svakog dijela i svaki dio ima svoju unutarnju naslovnicu. Pa što se tiče ovog, ne znam je li to prava riječ, nisam sigurna.
Kako izgleda strip scena u Hrvatskoj, jer je trebalo 37 godina da se skupe materijali za jedan tanki album, da se skupi kritična masa, a kad sam krenuo mislio sam, evo to sad, 10 godina najviše će biti album, ali eto, imao sam bolji naslov, ali sam se bojim se svojih naslova. Htio sam nazvati kritičnog, ali kad god dajem smiješne naslove knjigama, onda uvijek kad dođu narudžbe iz knjižnica uvijek krivo naručuju, uvijek me ispravljaju. Pa sigurno je mislio kritičnjak i ovako nešto, pa sam onda se odlučio za naslov koji će biti valjda jasan.
But we shall first start from your rooms. You are from?
I'm originally from Kragujevac, although I've been living in Belgrade for a very long time. And that's kind of it.
You draw comics?
Yeah,
and besides that?
Ever since I learned how to draw something, I've been drawing mostly comics. I don't think I've ever drawn an illustration that didn't feature some kind of text, because I feel like that's how I complete the drawing, by adding text. And then later in my life I realized even though it's not like a traditional comic, it can still be regarded as one. It's text and image, which is basically a comic. And when I realized that, I was like, look, maybe I should try doing comics. I've actually started reading comics before I was able to read, so they have been read to me.
Same here.
So yeah, that's kind of how I started.
Our parents were always that factor that influenced us towards this now, this wonderful crowd that is listening. They didn't even know what will happen in the future. Bless them.
Yeah, no, I'm very grateful that I have such a thorough background in comics, because if I hadn't been introduced to them so early, I don't think I wouldn't do it. I would still do it, but I wouldn't do it with as much love and dedication as I am today, because it's kind of like a legacy to me.
Regarding the QR code distraction, we shall now proceed to talk about the new issue of the Almanac Irrationalist.
Yeah.
It's actually a word play. In Croatian, the word list means paper, like newspaper, in the sense of a newspaper. But irrationalist as a word itself also exists. So it's an almanac that is also a list, which in English means paper.
Yeah, but I don't know what to do with the first part, irrational. I don't know how would I translate that or use that, but okay.
The root implies the irrationality of something.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, if we do like web page or digital, it will be just called irrational, not irrationalist. And I think I will do it. Yeah, I am.
Maybe you should just add two L's, like irrational, LL.
Irrational.
Irrational.
But it's better irrational. It's just completely crazy. Actually, I don't know what to talk
in
about.
Russian.
I would prefer to ask Sarah some question about her book, because I don't know what to talk about this one. It's actually, You say it's new. Actually, we printed it last year at the end of the year.
I didn't say
yeah,
new.
Yeah, you said it's
a new issue.
Yeah. But it's kind of an old issue for me because
it's the current issue.
Yeah, actually not. It's currently printed issue because currently we're doing a new issue. So I don't know. I want to. I don't know. Like I'm driving a car with a new issue, and this is in the how to say this mirror, and I see it and I can wave it. Okay, we did you already.
Audience where they can find your other work beside this pretty dramatic story.
Well, I can't promise that my other work is any
Inspired you to create a graphic novel about your stay in Indonesia, and what is the thematic focus of the comic? This comic, right?
Yeah, it's the yellow one. It's my first, and it's maybe quite big for the first one.
How many pages?
280.
Yes, that is certainly crazy big.
Yeah, I think maybe the main motivator for me at the beginning, okay, I always wanted to do a bigger work, and I felt after traveling quite a lot in my 20s that I don't really have a career and I should make something out of myself. And after spending a year somewhere in Indonesia, crazy place, I said I have to at least make something useful out of it, so I'm not just having fun. It was kind of this process. I felt
it's
like
a bit masochistic, like I shouldn't just be having fun, that's too good.
I felt like I'm not contributing anything to the world, kind of. So I suffered for a year and a half making this.
Common theme in your work? Is there a special reason behind it? Because I noticed that they pop up a lot in your portfolio and in other stuff you work at. Is it like a common thing or did it just happen?
It just happened. I choose them randomly. Like I could have chosen bears or whatever. But then I don't know how came to this. Like this book that I just finished with Anya. She titled it like Super Frog Finds not a chest but like a treasure. Yeah. So I don't know. And the one that I'm doing for the magazine, the writer also like I don't know. Chose a lot of frogs to be in there. I don't know, is it because of me or what? Yeah.
Maybe they thought you like frogs.
Like,
oh, let's just put in more frogs.
Yeah, she likes frogs. Yeah. She can draw them. Okay.
Do you like to draw frogs?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, good. It's starting to sound like a niche.
But I think everybody is well known about who Corin is because this is the name that always pops out in every article about Croatian comics. And I would say, I think we all know you are one of the most influential voices in the younger generation. So, guys, this is very exciting.
Yes, you have been in like every zine. So yeah, your name is like well known here.
I would say I'm slutting around, but okay.
Yes.
So when we look a little bit at your portfolio, it's very, very colorful, and I really like the way you shift your style. And I'm very interested, like, how does it come? Because I think it takes a lot of, like, I'm really fond when somebody can like switch through the styles, so with meaning, and also like it comes like it's easy for you. Like, what is the approach when you like have the story regarding short comics maybe, and how do you decide which narrative are you gonna take in your drawing?
So the answer to that has two parts. One part is that I get bored very easily. So I basically try to experiment with every project that I have and try to kind of figure out a new style for every story, and just to have fun with myself, not to kind of get stuck in one style, and not to have people always expect from me the same thing. I want them to never know what they're going to get from me, at least for now. Maybe that'll change in the future. And the second part is every story kind of has some requirements. For example, if you're doing a very silly story, you're not always going to do like a super realistic, hyper-realistic drawing with a lot of etching and stuff. But maybe you will. Maybe that's just the contrast that the story needs. One of the favorite things that I discovered when picking styles for my comics is that the more serious the story is, sometimes you really need to have a lighter comic style, like a visual drawing style, to kind of not be so dark and not be so intense and depressing. It's like this contrast that lets this story exist as not just like this super depressive narrative, but like, okay, maybe like a little bit of a balance between the theme and the drawing, something like that. But yeah, I really love to experiment, and I've actually been recently working on a pitch for the Ministry of Culture comic, and I very ambitiously
Bring it on!
I didn't win it yet, so you don't have to clap. But I very ambitiously tried to do something that I didn't do before, which is a very detailed style with a lot of panels on the page. And I wanted to die. That's it. It's too much for me. 20 pages in this one super detailed style. Well, it's not even that detailed. It's just
details. If you want to sell it to French publishers, it needs a little more cups in the tavern. You know?
Yeah, I really did try.
You have to try it a bit more. If the goal is to make a graphic novel that can be sold to French publishers, it just needs a bit more detail.
For now, the goal is to make a graphic novel, and then we'll see who I can sell it to.
Let's put her on the start line.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, obstacles and saving stuff.
And when the book came out, she reached out to me, what? What's this? And then I actually told her I'm aware that there's a city there, but I took the Latin word for change, mutare.
The butterfly shape also represents that change.
Yes, you know, when a little butterfly, like the little thing, transforms into the thing with the
Wings?
Yes.
So it's quite a complex work of art. For your, but it's not. It didn't came as a surprise because I read your biography during during your studies at the Fine Arts Academy in Zagreb, you like won all the prizes. You're the best, probably. Best student ever.
I had a great mentor, and I think that I'm still grateful to have the mentorship of Mirjana Vundopia, who was really supportive and like kind of showed me the really good approach towards doing this. I remember one time when I drew one of the first comics, and I like colored it very literally, and then she told me like, why is this plant green? I said, because it's green. And then she asked me, but how does the plant feel like? And I think this is where it clicked to me the first time, and then I actually never paint things as they look like, only how they feel. It's not only, green sometimes. Depends.
In Mutare, you have Dalmatians living on an island. In your which is not unusual, but these are different genres, not to be mistaken. But in your comic book, you have Slovenians living in symbiosis with the pan-galactic demons on the dark side of the moon.
Yeah, although there is no dark side of the moon, it's on the other side of the moon that it's not visible from Earth, because the dark side of the moon doesn't exist.
It's an album, you know, quite popular.
Yeah, that's true, but it doesn't exist because the moon rotates in a way we can always see just one side, but everything rotates around the sun, so it doesn't work. Sometimes that side is light instead. Yeah.
So Pink Floyd was also mistaken.
Yeah, they were mistaken. Yeah. But they did it on purpose because it's more like poetic. So it exists in a world of ideas, but not in reality. Same as my book, right? There are no Slovenians on the moon yet.
That we know of.
Yeah, that we know.
You can ask them, they're here.
Yeah, but okay, there are Slovenians. But actually, as you have mentioned before, I use Slovenian language, although I didn't check with anybody. Does it work? It's my interpretation. Okay, mine and Google Translator. It's some kind of improvisation. Although Nina Klarić, who designed the book, she's half Slovenian, and I never asked her to actually check, or her mother, who is full-blown Slovenian. So yeah.
This picture will be probably sent to the Slovenian Secret Service.
I don't know. Hopefully there is no borders. They would let me in Slovenia. Although I was so rude and I don't know. I actually like having
I think it's the perfect mood for the topics that we're going to discuss. Okay, so the final presentation, if I'm not mistaken, of the Ohoho Festival, at a reasonable hour even, is by Greek comic authors and generally creative people, Georgia Zachary and Aspasia Pepa, also known as Asparagus Plumosa. Can we get an applause, please? Who has managed to come this far? I bet they will be very pleasantly surprised by this presentation. First, as always, as is my custom in this festival, I shall read a short biography and then we'll see. Okay, so Aspasia Pepa, also known as Asparagus Plumosa, has been making zines and comics in many formats since 2017. She has taken part in various festivals and exhibitions in Greece and abroad, as well as in several collaborative works. She works in aquarelle, inks and pencils, and experiments in collage. She is currently a member of Lalava Creative Workshop in Athens, where she likes to organize fanzine workshops. Is there anything we've missed?
I'm not sure.
We will see.
We will see.
Okay,
I might add later, but yes, this is a resume in general.
Please add later if there is
I will.
Okay. And then we have Georgia Zachary. Studied history of art at the Athens School of Fine Arts, where she focused on mediation and education. In the same year, she began participating in comics. In 2017, she began participating in comics festivals and self-publishing her work, marking a shift in her career. She collaborated with several artists and organizations on various graphic novels, children's books, webcomics, and activity books, and even documentaries. Is there anything you would like to add?
Maybe that I think the reason we're invited here is because Aspa and I both did Womcom, which has been mentioned several times.
Many times.
Many times in this festival. So we got to meet Anna Maria and Ivana, who invited us, and then, of course, all the lovely people in the Croatian comic scene. Sara also, and Anna, and Zoe, Helena, like a lot of people here are because of Womcom, and that's very nice to meet other women and non-binary creators in comics, I think.
Well,
and also in the Balkans.
In the Balkans, of course. And since we've already reached the topic of Womcom, can you tell a bit about what was your project in Womcom? What did you work on, the two of you?
Okay, so I was part of two places in Womcom. I was first in Podgorica and then here in Zagreb. So in Podgorica I tried to work on what is happening when you don't have a real image of what you do outside. So the distortion of the self and how the others might tell you something and you cannot understand what they say. You always hear the bad thing even if they don't mean it. So this was my thing. In the Zagreb one, I tried to be a bit more, to remove a bit myself from what was happening. I can never do that. So I tried to do a bit of something more experimental. I did a huge map where the comic was part of the map. You would follow what's happening in one neighborhood of Athens that's called Koukaki and has a real problem with over-tourism, and a real story of people who live and are affected by this issue. That's it. Yes.
What about you?
I have to say that Aspa's comic with a map was really good, and I was really impressed last year when we were sleepless working on it.
You also in both?
We did the exact same things. Actually, Aspa and I, because the comic scene in Greece is not huge, so we met like years ago, maybe even 10 years ago, but we only became friends through the residency because we were both confined in small spaces for a while.
You had no choice.
We had no choice. They gave us the same bed.
They were roommates?
They were roommates. Totally just gal pals. I did a comic in Podgorica, which is about a female sculptor falling in love with her male-looking statue, which for me was an exploration of the female gaze and the reversal of the myth of Pygmalion, who created a female statue and then fell in love with it because all the other women out there were shit. So yeah, fuck that guy.
Or not.
Definitely not. Not in that sense. And then here, the theme of the residency was webcomics. So
webcomics?
Webcomics, comics for the web. I've been obsessed with webcomics since I discovered the internet at age 12. So, well, I was really happy for this opportunity, and then I made a comic that was basically made for Instagram, back when Instagram had the square format and not the stupid new...
Which everybody hates.
Which everybody hates. No, but I think everybody just hates everything about Instagram right now.
Or that, yeah.
And it's a story of 4 friends who all get insomnia at the same time and use different ways to treat it. And then I made a very big poster of it.
Oh, yeah, we've been able to see it on your
Yes,
site,
it's
right?
on the stand there. It was a really fun thing to work on. And I think residencies in general are very good for getting this kind of creative freedom that you don't get when you get paid for something or when you have to pay your bills. And you can just do fun, silly things, and that's great.
Yeah, great. It's a way to kind of spread your wings and try different things.